The morning air is crisp as I step outside, leash in hand. The sun hangs low, casting a golden glow over the neatly trimmed lawns and pastel-colored houses that line the street. Everything in Oak Ridge Estates looks perfect, too perfect if you ask me. Max, my golden retriever, circles my legs, his tail wagging in excitement. All right, I chuckle, clipping his leash. Let's go, buddy. We start our usual morning run, weaving through the pristine sidewalks. 6 months in this HOA-controlled neighborhood, and I still feel like an outsider. It's not anything overt. No burning crosses on the lawn, no slurs hurled in the dead of night. It's the little things. The lingering stares, the hesitant waves from neighbors, the way conversations hush when I walk past. I knew moving here as a black man in a mostly white suburb would come with challenges. But I figured if I kept my head down, paid my dues, and followed the rules, I'd be fine. Then there's her. Linda Harrington, the self-appointed queen of Oak Ridge Estates. She's been running the HOA for nearly a decade, ruling with an iron fist wrapped in a pastel cardigan. Always watching, always waiting for an excuse to remind me that this place isn't really mine. As Max and I jog past her house, I see her standing on her porch, arms crossed over her perfectly pressed blouse. Her icy blue eyes track my every move. I already know what's coming. Leash violation, she calls out, her voice laced with that concerned citizen tone. I slow to a stop, glancing down at Max's leash. 6 feet. Perfectly legal. No, it's not, I say flatly. Linda steps down from her porch, her expression shifting into something almost amused. HOA regulations state 4 feet. I take a breath, steadying my voice. No, they don't. She tilts her head, smirking. Are you sure about that? I hold her gaze. She wants me to react, to snap, to give her a reason to file a real complaint. I exhale sharply. Have a nice day, Linda. She smiles, but it doesn't reach her eyes. I'll be double-checking the bylaws. Carefully. I shake my head and keep moving, feeling her stare burn into my back. It's always something with her. Last week, it was a noise complaint about my music, played at a reasonable volume during the day. Before that, it was an issue with my lawn, despite the fact that my grass was just as neat as everyone else's. She's not enforcing rules. She's sending a message. And if I thought it would stop at petty HOA complaints, I was wrong. Because tomorrow, Max will be gone. Max is gone. The moment I wake up, I know something's wrong. The usual sound of paws against the hardwood floor, missing. The warm weight of him at the foot of my bed, gone. I sit up fast, my chest tightening. Max. Silence. I tear through the house, checking every room, every corner. The back door is locked. The gate in my fenced yard? Still bolted. There's no way he could have gotten out on his own. Panic sets in. I rush outside, scanning the street. The neighborhood is eerily quiet, the morning sun casting long shadows across the pavement. I call his name, my voice sharp with fear. Nothing. I jog down the block, knocking on doors. Most neighbors just shake their heads, their eyes darting away. Until I reach Mrs. Patel, the elderly woman who lives 2 doors down. She hesitates, glancing over her shoulder before stepping outside. I thought I heard something last night, she says, her voice low. A car stopping in front of your house. Late. I didn't see much, but it seemed strange. My stomach knots. What kind of car? She frowns, thinking. A van, maybe? White. A chill runs through me. I nod my thanks and keep moving, my mind racing. By noon, I've covered every inch of the neighborhood. No sign of Max. That's when I see her. Linda Harrington, standing in her driveway, a steaming cup of coffee in hand, watching me, smirking. I march toward her, my pulse pounding in my ears. Linda. She takes a slow sip before lowering the cup. Daniel, she says smoothly, like we're just 2 friendly neighbors having a chat. My dog is missing. Her expression barely shifts. Oh dear. That's terrible. I clench my jaw. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you? Linda tilts her head, feigning confusion. Why would I? Because you've been waiting for an excuse to get rid of him. Because you think you own this neighborhood. Because you want to make it clear that people like me don't belong here. But I don't say any of that. I just stare at her, trying to keep my anger in check. If I find out you had anything to do with this. Linda cuts me off with a saccharine smile. Oh, Daniel, be careful making accusations like that. Wouldn't want to cause any unnecessary trouble. Now would we? She turns and walks inside, closing the door behind her. I stand there, fists clenched. She knows something. I can feel it, but I have no proof. Not yet. I call the police. It takes them over an hour to show up. When they finally arrive, 2 officers step out of their cruiser, moving at a pace that suggests they already don't plan to take this seriously. Officer Martinez, the younger of the 2, jots something in his notepad as I explain. So, you're saying your dog was stolen?
Yes.
He was in my house last night. The doors were locked. This morning, he was gone. The older officer, a gruff-looking man named Reynolds, scratches his chin. No forced entry?
No.
Reynolds exchanges a glance with his partner. Then he probably ran off. Dogs do that. I exhale sharply, reining in my frustration. Max has never run off. And my neighbor saw a white van outside my house last night. Martinez looks mildly interested. You got a license plate? I shake my head. Reynolds shrugs. So no hard evidence. I tighten my fists. I know who took him. Both officers glance up.
Who?
I turn and gesture across the street. Linda Harrington. They both follow my gaze to her house. It's immaculate, of course. Fresh flowers lining the porch, an American flag swaying in the breeze. Through the front window, I catch the flicker of movement. She's watching. Martinez raises an eyebrow. And what makes you think she took him? I turn back. Because she's been trying to get rid of my dog since I moved in. First, it was fake noise complaints. Then, false HOA violations. And now, the night after she argues with me, my dog magically disappears. Reynolds sighs. Look, sir, unless you have proof that she physically removed your dog from your property, there's not much we can do. I stare at him. So, that's it? She just gets away with it? We didn't say that. Martinez says quickly. We'll check with animal control. Maybe someone turned him in. I know damn well no one turned Max in. Reynolds flips his notepad shut. For now, best thing you can do is keep looking. They head back to their cruiser. As they pull away, I turn back toward Linda's house. She's standing at her window now, coffee cup in hand, watching. And smiling. My stomach twists with rage. She knows I can't prove it. And that's exactly why she did it.
Fine.
If the system won't help me, I'll find proof myself. I start with the neighbors. Most of them are useless. Some claim they didn't hear or see anything. Others avoid me altogether. But then I find Mrs. Patel again. She cracks her door open, eyes darting nervously. You haven't found him yet? No, I glance over my shoulder, lowering my voice. That van you saw, are you sure it was parked outside my house? She hesitates, then nods.
Yes.
Just for a few minutes. Then it drove away. My mind races. Did you see who was driving? She bites her lip. I think it was Linda, but it was dark.
Close.
But not enough. I need more. The HOA meeting is tomorrow night. If I can't get Max back by then, I'm bringing this to the entire board. But that means I need something solid. That's when I remember Linda has a Ring camera. She installed it last year, bragging about safety and keeping the neighborhood secure. Well, let's see if it caught her in the act. That night, I do something I never thought I'd do. I call in a favor. Tyler, my old college roommate, works in cybersecurity. He owes me one. You're insane, he mutters over the phone. You want me to access her Ring account? Just check if there's footage of a van outside my house last night. He groans. Jesus, Daniel. This could get me in serious trouble. She stole my dog, Tyler. Silence. Then a sigh.
Fine.
I'll see what I can do. The next morning, my phone buzzes. A message from Tyler. Check your email. I open it. Attached is a blurry, grainy still from Linda's own camera. A white van, parked directly in front of my house. And, behind the wheel, a woman with short, platinum blonde hair. I grip my phone, heart pounding. I finally have what I need. And at tonight's HOA meeting, Linda's world is about to come crashing down. The Oak Ridge Estates HOA meeting is packed. Rows of neatly arranged folding chairs fill the community center, occupied by homeowners murmuring about new landscaping rules and upcoming street repaving. The air smells of stale coffee and cheap air freshener. Linda sits at the head of the long table, flanked by the HOA board, 3 men and 1 woman, all nodding at her every word like she's a damn queen. She's dressed impeccably, as always, in a soft pink blazer and pearls. Her expression is neutral, but I see the flicker of satisfaction in her eyes when she spots me in the back. She thinks she's won. Not for long. I grip my phone, my heart pounding. The image of her behind the wheel of that van burns in my mind. I take a deep breath and step forward. Before we get too far into the agenda, I say, my voice cutting through the room, I have something important to bring up. Linda's lips press into a thin line. Now's not the time, Daniel. I ignore her. My dog, Max, was stolen from my property 2 nights ago, and I have evidence that a member of this board was involved. The room goes still. A few people shift in their seats. Others murmur. Linda exhales dramatically, standing up. This is highly inappropriate, she says, shaking her head. I understand you're upset about your missing pet, but this meeting is for official HOA business. I meet her gaze. That's exactly what this is. She folds her arms. Unless you have actual proof of your ridiculous accusations, I suggest you sit down and stop disrupting the meeting. I take a step closer. I do have proof. Her smirk flickers, but she recovers fast. Oh, let's hear it then. I hold up my phone. Your own Ring camera caught you. A ripple of whispers moves through the room. Linda's expression freezes, just for a second, before she laughs, a sharp, forced sound. This is absurd. She waves a hand. Even if my camera picked up footage, that doesn't mean I had anything to do with it. A white van could belong to anyone. I nod. That's true. I tap the screen and enlarge the image. But this van? The one parked right outside my house at 2 a.m. I zoom in, and the blurry figure behind the wheel sharpens just enough. That's you, Linda. Gasps ripple through the room. Someone whispers, "Oh my God." Linda's face drains of color, but she forces another laugh. That's ridiculous. That image is blurry. It could be anyone with short blonde hair. I raise an eyebrow. So, you do admit that the person in the van has short blonde hair? Her jaw tightens. I don't let up. Let's add another layer, then. My neighbor, Mrs. Patel, saw this van. She said a woman matching your description was driving it. All eyes turn to Mrs. Patel, who sits near the back. She looks nervous, but gives a small nod. I did see a van that night. Linda's hands curl into fists. This is insane. This is a witch hunt. I tilt my head. A witch hunt. My voice stays calm, but I make sure the weight of my words hits. You mean the way you've been targeting me since I moved in? The fake noise complaints? The bogus HOA violations? The constant harassment? The board members exchange uneasy glances. Linda's composure cracks. You have no proof I took your dog. I take a slow step forward. Then why did I get an anonymous tip this morning? Her eyes flicker with something, fear. I continue, my voice sharp. A text. No name, no number. Just an address. I hold up my phone. An abandoned storage unit on the outskirts of town. I pause. Where I found Max. The room erupts in murmurs. Linda's mask finally shatters. She steps around the table, jabbing a finger at me. You broke into private property? I let her words hang in the air. Interesting reaction, Linda. I fold my arms. You never asked if Max was okay. You never even denied it. Silence. Her mouth opens, closes, opens again. But she has nothing. I press the final blow. You stole my dog, Linda. Because you wanted to show me that people like me don't belong here. I gesture to the crowd. How many of you have ever been harassed by her? How many of you have gotten ridiculous fines, anonymous complaints, or sudden violations for things that other homeowners get away with? Hands start going up. Linda stares, her face pale. One of the board members, a wiry man named Greg, clears his throat. This is a serious accusation. I nod. It is. And I'll be filing real complaints now. With the police. With the city. With the HOA's higher governing body. And if nothing happens, I glance around the room. I have no problem taking this public. A heavy silence fills the air. Linda sways slightly. Her world is collapsing. And I'm not done yet. Linda's smirk is gone. The color has drained from her face, but she's still trying to hold on. To control the narrative. She straightens her blazer, clears her throat, and forces a laugh, sharp, brittle. This is ridiculous, she says, her voice teetering on hysteria. You think a blurry image and an unverified text message mean anything? You have no proof I did anything wrong. I don't flinch. You're right, Linda, I say, tilting my head. A blurry image alone isn't enough. But you made a mistake. Her nostrils flare. Oh, and what mistake is that? I hold up my phone and tap the screen. The room goes silent as the audio begins to play. A woman's voice. Linda's voice. Hurry up and put him in the van. No, stop barking, you stupid mutt. Just drive. He won't be able to prove a damn thing. The room erupts.
Gasps.
Murmurs. Some people look at Linda in shock. Others? With recognition. Like they'd suspected something like this all along. Linda stumbles back. What the hell is that? She sputters. I shrug. The anonymous tip didn't just send me an address. I tap the screen again.
They sent me this.
Another clip plays. If we get rid of the dog, he'll have no choice but to leave. Just do it. Nobody's going to believe him over me. A cold, suffocating silence fills the room. Linda's entire body is trembling now. This is a setup. That's not me. But it is her. The cadence, the condescension, the sneering entitlement. Every person in this room has heard Linda talk exactly like this before. Greg, the wiry board member, shifts uncomfortably in his chair. Linda, he says, his voice uneasy, you need to explain this. Linda spins toward him. You believe this garbage? She hisses. This is clearly fake. A deep fake or AI or something. I fold my arms. So your own security camera caught footage of the van. Mrs. Patel saw a woman matching your description driving it. And now I have an audio recording. I pause, tilting my head. And all of that is just a coincidence. Linda is spiraling now. Her breathing is sharp and erratic. Her carefully constructed image, HOA President, upstanding homeowner, self-appointed neighborhood queen, is crumbling in front of everyone. Why you don't belong here, she suddenly shrieks. The words hang in the air. There it is. No more veiled complaints. No more passive-aggressive fines or fake rule violations. Just raw entitlement and bigotry spilling out in front of everyone. The silence that follows is thick. And then, you know what? A voice from the crowd. Mr. Jenkins, an older black man who's lived here for over 20 years, rises from his chair. I knew something was off when I got fined for having my lawn too long, while all your little HOA friends got away with it. A woman stands next to him. She threatened to fine me for unauthorized Halloween decorations. But then I saw her friend put up a giant spiderweb and nothing happened. More murmurs. Heads nodding. The truth is spreading. Linda looks around wildly, but she's trapped. She reaches for a lifeline. Greg. You know I would never. Greg's lips are tight. His eyes dart to the other board members. I think we need to vote on Linda's position in the HOA. A collective hush. Then a murmur of agreement. Linda goes rigid. You can't do that. Greg exhales, rubbing his temples. Actually, we can. He gestures to the board members. Effective immediately, I'm calling an emergency vote to remove Linda Harrington from her position as HOA President. Linda stares in horror as, one by one, hands go up. All of them. Unanimous. I step closer, voice calm. You wanted me out of this neighborhood, Linda. But instead, you're the one getting kicked out. Her chest rises and falls rapidly. This isn't over, she breathes. I have connections.
I'll sue.
And then the doors swing open. Two uniformed officers step inside. The same ones from yesterday. Officer Martinez and Officer Reynolds. Reynolds scans the room, then his eyes land on Linda. Linda Harrington? She stiffens. Martinez holds up a piece of paper. You're under investigation for theft and animal cruelty. We need you to come with us. The silence is deafening. Linda's face collapses. No, this isn't happening. But it is. As Reynolds steps forward, Linda suddenly bolts. Or tries to. She makes it 2 steps before Martinez grabs her by the arm, twisting it behind her back. Ma'am, I highly suggest you don't resist. The HOA board watches in stunned silence as Linda Harrington, who spent years terrorizing this community, who thought she was untouchable, is let out of the meeting in handcuffs. And just like that, her reign is over. The morning air is crisp, but the neighborhood is buzzing. Linda Harrington's pristine white house, the one she lorded over this community from, now has a bright orange for sale sign planted in the yard.
She's gone.
Evicted from both the HOA and the neighborhood. Stripped of her title, her power, and her control. And the best part? She did it to herself. Public downfall. It didn't take long for the news to spread. The HOA released an official statement condemning Linda's actions and confirming her permanent removal. But that wasn't enough to save their own reputations. The other board members, Greg, Susan, and the rest, faced heavy scrutiny for enabling her.
Some resigned.
Others tried to distance themselves, but the damage was done. Linda's arrest made local news. Former HOA president caught in pet theft scandal. Her mugshot, wide-eyed, caught, circulated across social media, plastered in every community group and neighborhood watch forum. And the fallout? Even worse. Neighbors came forward with years of complaints, fines that only seemed to target certain families, rules bent in favor of her friends, threats disguised as neighborhood policy. Lawsuits piled up. People she once controlled were now coming for her. And as for Linda? Well, she had bigger problems. Financial ruin and karma. With legal fees mounting and multiple civil suits filed against her, Linda had no choice. She put her house on the market in humiliating defeat. Rumor had it she had to sell it for way below market value, a fire sale, just to escape the scandal. Even her so-called friends, the ones who once praised her for keeping the neighborhood in order, turned their backs. No one wanted to be associated with a disgraced ex-HOA tyrant. Linda Harrington, the woman who once ruled this community with an iron fist? Now she's just another name in a headline. And I won. Restoring peace. A week after Linda's arrest, I stand in my backyard, watching Max roll around in the grass. He's happy, finally back where he belongs. The neighborhood feels different now. Lighter. Freer. A knock on my fence pulls me from my thoughts. I turn to see Mr. Jenkins, a warm smile on his face. Thought I'd stop by, he says, leaning against the post. See how you're doing? I nod. Better now. He glances at Max, who wags his tail excitedly. Good to see him home.
Yeah.
I smile. Good to have him home. Jenkins exhales, looking around the neighborhood. You know, I should have spoken up sooner. About her. About what she was doing. His expression hardens. I saw what she did to you, and I recognized it.
Same thing she did to me.
To others. He shakes his head. She counted on us staying quiet. I meet his gaze. Not anymore.
He nods.
Not anymore. A community rebuilt. The neighborhood is already changing. The HOA? Restructured. No more secret fines. No more selective enforcement. New board members, actual fair ones, are stepping up. And as for the people who stayed silent for too long, They're speaking up now.
It's not just about me.
Or Max. Or Linda. It's about everyone who's ever been made to feel like they don't belong in a place they earned. Justice isn't just about punishment. It's about making sure no one else has to go through the same thing. Linda thought she could push me out. Instead, she's the one who lost everything. And I'm still here, right where I belong.